Hello friends, this is Promi and welcome back to the Kerbal Commonwealth Space Agency. It's been a little while, but you can see we have the SA-3 Albatross back on the runway in order to head back to our Arctic research site and to visit some other areas as well. You can see this is actually the SA-3A, has been modified somewhat. We have greater clearance from the ground in the front, so we do not destroy our engines like in the previous expedition. We've got these air brakes that I've added on the back with these Elevon 4s. Quite handy. Move the parachutes off to the side. And I actually moved these ladders lower down in our tech tree so I would have access to them. It just seemed kind of silly and awkward that, you know, I was able to build jet planes and rockets but not have folding ladders. It just sort of added tedium to it rather than any actual challenge, so I've added those there. Should help us out. Anyway, we are headed for our remaining site here, site XT5 Gamma. Activate the navigation. So let's see, we should be able to see it through the planet somewhere. There it is. Okay, let's get our engines started up and we can head over to our research site. Turn on stability assist. Throttle all the way up. And engage the engines. As you can see, once again, we have Halney, Bill, Jeb, and Bob. This aircraft has been rechristened the Double Trouble after our engine incidents from last time. Okay, propellers should be just about spooled up. So you can turn off the brakes and head into the sky. A little bit slanted on the runway. Wasn't perfectly lined up because, as you may remember, our spaceplane hangar still needs to be upgraded. So this vessel had its final assembly in the vehicle assembly building and then had to be driven over to the runway from the launch pad. Okay, we're up. Let's bring in our gear and we can retract our flaps as well. Get out our Ferrum Aerospace panel. One thing I have noticed with the most recent version of Ferrum Aerospace is that my aircraft seem less prone to doing that porpoising in the pitch direction than they were previously. The Dragonfly certainly behaves better, although our jet-powered XA-1 Swift still does it a little bit, so I still think that jet aircraft is not the ideal design. Quite excited for KSP 1.1 whenever it shows up. So performance and memory improvements, it sounds like they may actually have a stable 64-bit version, which will let me go a little more crazy with the fancy textures, not have to juggle mods so much. Okay, so we are headed in the right direction. Say so long to KSC. So we've got a flight of about an hour, 840 kilometers. Probably managed to get our speed up higher than this, but it'll still take a while to get there. So I will have a nice leisurely trip and speak to you again once we've reached our destination. Okay, we just passed our research site. We're going to try to come around and land in this relatively flattish area. Put our brakes out. They both seem to be misbehaving. This is something I noticed, is that they constantly forget which way they are supposed to point. I completely disabled the inner ones because they seem to be mirrored, so one would point in and one would point out, and vice versa, depending on which way I set them. So I just disabled them entirely. It's strange that they were all working fine on the runway. I'm not sure what exactly they're calculating their direction by, but it seems to change mid-flight. We're just going to come into our landing orientation. Can extend the gear. Get our flaps set up. Which ones are flaps? Here we go. Set them for landing. I've turned the brakes off. We're pretty slow now. We're sub 100 meters per second, which is good. Terrain here is still a little bit bumpy, so we'll have to be careful. But we do still have our parachutes, so gently, gently. Okay, we're below 90 meters per second. To be able to make a good touchdown now. And go our parachutes. Watch our yaw there. Okay, looks like we're slowing right down. And we're stopped. Let's put the brakes on for now. Just going to throttle up a bit. And then, like last time, I'm going to drive along the rest of the way. This will probably be a little tedious, so I'll probably speed this part up, and I will speak to you again once we reach the site Gamma. Okay, here we are at Site Gamma. We're going to shut down our engines. Extend our ladders. And I think required experiment, if I remember correctly, is the laser scan. So let's collect the laser data. There it goes, vaporizing the surface. Close study shows the Kerbal highlands are composed of much the same material as the Kerbal lowlands. So that's the same spiel as we had last time. We got the survey data from Gamma. So we'll keep that. And looks like we got 90,000 funds in 1 science and 3 reputation for that contract. And we also got, okay, this is for the specific parameter, which is 2 science and another 10,000. So that's a good amount of funds and a little bit of science. Nope, no, okay, that contracts panel is a bit of a pain, but look, we have 240,000 just about. I think that's getting close to the required amount for upgrading the spaceplane hangar. So let's get Bob out. He's going to collect the data. So you can see, I'm not sure what mod was causing the problem, but I updated some, and now the wings no longer cause us to jitter about like they previously did. So let's take the data from the laser. Let's see if there's anything else that we can get here. Something seems wrong. I was supposed to have instruments here. The thermometer and barometer, but I do not. Must have been when I was rejiggering with the structure in here, and this got duplicated over. I didn't put those things back on. Well, that's a little bit disappointing. We won't be able to get the data from the Arctic with those like I wanted to. I guess we still have crew reports, mystery goo, and the laser scan, but yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. Oh well. Okay, so I wanted to see if we could get any residual data from the mystery goo. Yeah, it looks like a little bit, so let's keep that. Switch back to Bob and grab the science out of there. Here we go. Collect data, remove, and restore. Store the experiments in here. And then Bob can get back in his cabin. See if there's a crew report we can get. No, that really won't help us. Okay, Bill, the moment you have been training for, repacking parachutes. So we should be able to repack this from here. Yep, repack chute. Oh, nice little sound effect. I'm not sure if that's stock or real chute or what, but okay, Bill's going to get back in. Okay, all our crew is back on board. Subtract our ladders. So let's see where we want to go next. So we're here in the well, sort of tundra-ish region. Actually more like highlands, so what the biome actually is. We want to go investigate the North Pole and the actual tundra, because I think we need some readings from there. Let's check our contracts. We need laser surface scans from, well, a whole bunch of places. Mountains, tundra, ice caps, shores. Okay, so we'll get the tundra and the ice caps. Mountains will be tricky, but there's several places near KSP where we could get that, same with shores, so that's easy enough. Then we also have some similar biome studies with the mystery goo. Pretty much the same locations. Oh no, tundra, ice caps, shores, but badlands instead of mountains. Okay, well the badlands are way over here somewhere, so we'll do that on a different mission. Okay, we got all those, and the rest is immune stuff. Okay, so let's head to the ice caps. Okay, let's take our flaps in a little bit to takeoff position. And start up our engines again. Where would be the... Might be able to take off here. It's a bit of a ramp for us to jump off of. So let's try doing that maybe. Turn the brakes off. We're gonna go forwards or backwards? Say neither. Throttle up a bit more maybe. Okay, we're moving. I think that should work out. Just give me a moment while I get into position. Okay, here we are lined up with our flat and our ramp. Hopefully this little divot won't cause too much of a problem, but I don't think it will. So let's throttle all the way up. Wait for our engines to get spooled up. Come on, 30. Okay, that should be good. Let's take off the brakes. Jeb and Halney are both thrilled with this. Bill seems concerned. Okay, heading for the jump. And up we go. Ah, flawless. Okay, let's bring our flaps in. Oh, that worked quite well. So I think, yes, we're heading exactly north. Head towards the Aurora. So I'm gonna fly for a little longer, see if we can spot any tundra or ice caps. A good landing area. And I will speak to you again once I have spotted a good place to land. Okay, this here apparently counts as tundra. Looks more like ice cap to me, but if I look here, yeah, it says it's tundra. So we're gonna land and take some readings. It's kind of hard to tell the level of the ground from up here, because there's a lot of light and dark patches. Air brakes still seem to be working properly, so that's good. Going to put our flaps out. I think for the most part this land is actually pretty flat. I mean, we have a mountain over there, but this area looks flat. It's just some of the permafrost is kind of dark. I'm just gonna come around, try to lose as much speed as possible. Okay, let's get our gear out. Frame rate seems to be suffering here a bit. I'm not sure why that would be. But we're just about 100 meters off the ground now and losing energy. Just find a nice flat stretch here. Put down. This looks pretty good. Okay, once we get wheels down, we'll release the parachutes. Looks like there was a little dip there. Okay, parachutes away. Let's brake. Oop. A little bit. Okay. Ooh. A little bit of a bumpy ride. But we're okay. So, shut down the engines. Let's see what's available here. Oh, got lots of stuff to do. Let's start with the crew report. Peer out from your cabin and take notes on the current environment. Okay, that's fairly generic. Let's do a laser surface scan. And several blasts from the laser burn off the frozen surface of this ground, exposing layers below with high concentrations of organic compounds. Okay, that's fairly interesting. Hopefully there's no ancient viruses bound up in the permafrost. Or if there is, that we are not susceptible to them. Let's check out our mystery goo. We observe the goo's reaction to the environment. Okay. And lastly, EVA report. We'll get Bob to do that. He's our science guy. Let's get down on the ground. Oh. Ground's probably fairly hard here. So let's see who we got. EVA report. We observe the surface and take in the view. It all seems very familiar. Why would it be familiar? Well, maybe Bob is originally from these northern regions. Let's take a surface sample. Ground here seems to be completely frozen. It's very hard to scoop up the sample. Okay. Alright, we're gonna have to get one of the others to extend the ladder for Bob. Climb back up and recover the data from our instruments. Okay, we'll store those experiments. Take data, store, make sure everything's cleared out of the crew report folder or whatever the heck it sits in. Okay, so what's this about? Because I clicked on inspect for something. Got laser scan from the tundra, yes, and mystery goo from the tundra as well. Yep, okay. So, how are we doing for time of day? Getting kind of late. But the ice caps should not be far. Or maybe, well, I don't know. It is high up north, so sun being close to the horizon should be expected. Bring up our ladder. And onward to the ice caps. So let's start our engines back up. Okay, let's throttle all the way up. That should be pretty easy to take off here. Let's wait for our engines to get their thrust up. And I think we should be good for liftoff. That's actually 2? Yeah, that's fine for flaps. Okay. Brakes off, and here we go. The effects for the wheels on the ground seem to be strangely offset. Up, up. Okay, here we go. Gear up. Flaps in. Anything here? Just EVA report, which we are not going to do. And we're still pointed north. So, onward to the ice caps. Now I'll speak to you again once we reach proper ice, even though this also looks like ice. Okay, Jeb has spotted something on the ice down there. Kind of want to check it out. It looks kind of out of place. We're right on the border between the ice caps and the tundra. We'll get some readings from the ice caps as well. You can see they do look a little bit different. Thought that the tundra looked pretty icy, but ice caps are far more blue or white, and the tundra is more greenish. Anyway, let's throttle all the way down. Check out our air brakes, which are misbehaving again. Let's fix this one. I think actually we forgot to pack our chutes last time, so it's a good thing that the ice is so flat. So we're not going to have our parachutes available. Okay, I think that object was over here. Or was it over there? No, I think it was there. Do another pass over and come around and try to put her down on the ice. I think there, yes, there is our object. Could just be a rock or something. What do you call those when it's just a random rock? I think they're called erratics or something like that. Anyway, it's kind of on the hilly part, so try to put the plane down on the flat part of the ice, and then we can taxi it around. To be careful since we don't have our parachutes. Okay, there we go. Oh, we're sliding a little bit. Be careful. So be careful with our wings. Don't want to hit them into the terrain. Okay, there we go. Make sure Bill remembers to pack the parachutes this time. Okay, we're a little ways away from our target. So I'm just going to throttle up a bit and turn us around. I guess I probably should have disabled steering on those wheels before we took off last time. Okay, I'm going to make my way over there, and I'll talk to you again once I reach our mysterious object. Okay, here we are close to the object. Looks a little bit too regular to be natural. I think it's an artificial structure of some kind. Let's turn off the engines. I think we're still on the ice cap, so we can get our remaining experiments done here. I did do a crew report on the way over. So let's check out the mystery goo. Okay. Typical stuff. Laser surface scan. Tiny pools of water form from holes bored by the laser. Seems as to be expected for an ice cap. Okay, we'll get Bob out to do EVA report. Wonder if I do one from here, if that'll count as... No. I thought it might count as flying. Seems like they fixed that. Okay, let's see. EVA report. And surface sample. This isn't really solid ground, is it? You got a sample but feared to dig any deeper because the startling cracking sounds the ice made. Because of the startling cracking sounds the ice made. Try not to think back on how you landed here. Does the ice cap not actually land? Maybe not. I wonder about that object. Well, now that we got our data from the ice cap, I think we can bring the plane in a little bit closer. So let's just get Bob back in. Since we've shut down the engine for now, let's just use the motors on our wheels. Can just use the time warp to speed it up a bit. Nope. I guess we'll probably need the engines after all. Okay, right next to this strange object. Let's turn our engines back off. And I'm gonna get Jeb to go have a look. Oh, come to think of it, it looks much like Some ancient crafts that have been discovered before. This one seems to be in much better condition, though. Throughout recorded Kerbal history, artifacts have been discovered indicating that an advanced civilization existed in Kerbin's forgotten past. What happened to them is unknown, but it must have been severe enough to send Kerbal kind back to the Stone Age. The Kraken's Eye crater has been dated to the relatively recent past, geologically speaking. As such, a popular hypothesis is that the impact that formed the crater also wiped out this ancient civilization. Our artifact find here, it appears to be a vessel of some kind, is certainly among the most intact ever found. Judging by the sophistication of the materials and design, we may have been underestimating our predecessors. But it also raises questions. If they were so advanced, why were they not able to detect and deflect the impactor before it struck? Surely a team will want to head out here and study the craft in depth. What was that? The vessel seems to have powered up and emitted a powerful radio signal. I don't think any of our crew has discovered any controls, so it must be reacting to our mere presence. Coinciding with the signal, back at KSC, we felt a small seismic event, and activity has been spotted near the runway. Valentina is heading out in a rover to investigate. A black featureless slab is now sitting near the runway. Presumably it emerged from underground, causing the seismic event we felt. Seems clear that this is related to the discovery in the Arctic. Looking more closely, there appears to be an inscription on the slab. Looks like it's just an emblem and some undecipherable markings. More mysteries, it seems.